What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 11. Listen, Erica, you probably should have just sat this season out because in this episode, we legit caught you in two lies. We caught you in two lies and some bad optics. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Let's go on and talk to it. It's the night after. It's the morning after we find out the ladies stayed up late drinking, having dance parties and stuff. The one thing I will say about these Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they have a good time, okay? When the cameras go home, they party, they get it in, they stay up late, getting drunk, and they have a good time. I think part of it is because these girls, for the most part, are genuinely, well, there's a clique of them that are genuinely friends. They're friends when the cameras aren't rolling during the off season. They hang out together and all of that. So the next morning, Erica comes back over because Erica and Crystal are staying at a hotel or a resort, and they come back over that morning. Garcelle is coming back later on that afternoon, and Kyle is like, "Well, we have an electric car." So Erica gets there. So Erica, Kathy, and Sutton stay at the house, and Dorit, Lisa, and Kyle go out on the electric cars, and Crystal. No, it was, yeah, and Crystal. So the four of them. They went out on the electric bikes, not cars. Did I say car? I meant bike. The little electric bikes riding around town. They found like a little breakfast spot. They had crepes and things, and they get breakfast, and they're out eating breakfast. Let me tell you, that damn Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton done called Kyle for a straw. A straw, y'all. She said, I need a straw for my shake. And then she said, and I need some chia seeds too. Since you're going to bring me a straw, bring me some chia seeds. Kyle was like, I'll bring you a straw, but I'm not bringing you no chia seeds. Where the hell am I find chia seeds, Kathy? I'm on a bike. Who's getting chia seeds? And so they were laughing. They was like, Kathy really just picks up the phone and orders stuff like she used to living in a hotel. And they were like, well, she did used to live at the Waldorf Astoria, because the Hilton family owned, I don't think they still do, but they used to own the Waldorf Astoria. And so I'm guessing early on in her marriage, that was their permanent residence, the Waldorf up in. So I'm sure she is very used to picking up the phone and asking for whatever the hell she wants and somebody bringing it to her. And now, have y'all seen that monstrosity of a house she lives in now? I'm certain that there are people that legit are just on the other end of any phone that she picks up and asks for whatever, and they find it. And they're probably used to her ass. And so whatever she asks for, they are used to bringing it. I love Kathy. I love her. So then, of course, they have to have another conversation about how horrible things are for Erica. And oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. How horrible is it for Erica? How bad is it? I can't imagine. Oh, she's been so strong all these years and been protecting him. And why is she protecting him? And oh my goodness, she needs to worry about herself. Yeah, child, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, whatever. So they get back to the house, and Erica done fell asleep. Kathy is doing whatever the hell Kathy is doing, and Sutton is looking for everybody because she done went got dressed, and she trying to figure out where everybody is. So Erica starts talking about how she had a house. Her and Tom had a house somewhere in this neighborhood. But she never knew where the house was. She never went to the house. She never lived in the house. She never saw the house. She just knew that they owned the house. And so, but she didn't know the address. She didn't know nothing about it. So once again, we are reminded about how clueless Erica was in her marriage and how she just didn't know anything. And they owned this house in this neighborhood in La Quinta, whatever. And she just never went to it. So she was like, well, I don't know the address. So Kyle was like, well, your name is on the neighborhood directory. She said, really? Well, can you look it up and see what the address is? So Kyle looks it up, and it's not really, her name is, it's just her address and their email address. It's not the actual address to the house. So here go Kathy. Well, just call them and tell them that you forgot, that you own so many homes, that you just don't remember the address, and you travel so much, and you were here, and you were just trying to find your house. Just tell them that. Listen. I feel like Kathy has done that a million times. I feel like Kathy has used that exact same verbiage a million times to describe I just feel like she's done that. And Erica even said that'll probably work for Kathy Hilton. It won't work for me, But it would probably work for Kathy Hilton. She probably will be able to get the address. Again, though, I say, so we find out later on in the episode that the house was sold in 2018. Erica didn't know nothing about it. Well, how can they sell a house, Erica, without you knowing if your name is on it? So once again, we are reminded about how so much can happen without Erica even knowing about it. He sold a whole house that had Erica's name on it, and she never knew. Okay, then. All right. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So then the ladies decided they're going to go out and play croquet. Don't nobody know how to play no damn croquet except for Sutton. But, of course, Sutton is odd man out. Ain't nobody trying to hear Sutton tell them how to play no damn croquet, child. So they basically end up just looking like a bunch of silly women out in the middle of the park playing some damn croquet. Now, Lisa said that they played croquet when she was a kid, but once they put the pool in, she stopped playing croquet and she never played it since, and she don't know nothing about it. Now, Kathy said she was going to meet them there, and Kathy came walking up with that damn bag. I really wish I knew what bag. I know that's a designer. It's got to be a designer bag. I don't know if it's Louis Vuitton or what. But Kathy in that damn bag is killing me because she is carrying that bag around like she got the Hilton fortune in it, okay? So she gets there. By the time she get there, they done stopped playing the damn croquet. They said, listen, we are over it. We over playing the croquet. So then Kyle, messy ass, is going to ask Lisa, well, how are things with you and Garcelle? Because they're waiting for Garcelle to get there. She said, well, we're good. You know, we're in a better place. You know, we just decided we're going to take things slow and we're going to take baby steps, you know. And she said, well, is she following you on Instagram yet? And Lisa was like, girl, I don't know. Now, a part of me feels like she really don't know. Because I feel like she really doesn't. But we know how obsessed Kyle is. So Kyle was like, well, I know. She don't follow you no more. You know, she didn't say that to Lisa. But in the moment, you know. And I'm like, because Kyle, you care about that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm not even close to being a celebrity, and I don't keep up with who follows me and all of that. I really don't. So if I were a celebrity and had millions of followers or even hundreds of thousands of followers, I probably wouldn't care either. Lisa gets on there and she has her little dance parties and she go on about her business. I really don't think she obsesses with it. I don't. So Garcelle shows up. Well, they go back to the house. Garcelle shows up in a hazmat suit, honey, and she is sanitizing everybody as she walks in the door. She said, these bitches had COVID. I'm not playing with them. Okay? So, and she not staying at the house. And she said that's why she's staying at the house. She's staying at the hotel. Now, I don't mean no harm, but I don't feel like the hotel is any better than what the house would be. But okay, whatever. I mean, because at the end of the day, they don't have it anymore. Like, they are 100% cleared. So, but I guess they had all been cleared when they caught it. So, I guess. But anyway, so they're having dinner that night at the resort with Erica, Garcelle, and Crystal are staying. Here's where I'm talking about the optics looking bad. We get there and we see Crystal's room. And Crystal looks like she's staying in a regular room. You know, they're at a resort and they had a high-end resort. So a regular room is still a nice looking room, right? But it looked like a regular hotel room, maybe a suite. Because it had a living room, dining room area. But it didn't look huge. Later on, we get to Erica's room. Erica is staying in like a damn penthouse. It's like a house. And she's like, well, because I have the dog with me and I have my assistant with me. She's like, and then she, I guess, caught herself and was like, well, no, but it's just us. I mean, you know, I don't have a whole staff anymore. It's just the three of us, but I still need space for everybody. The optics, Erica, it's the fucking optics. I don't even care if that's what you're really doing. But you probably shouldn't let us see that that's what you're really doing. You should have been in the room Crystal was in, and Crystal should have been in the room you were in. And even if it was just for the purposes of the cameras, that is what we should have seen. We should not see you in a better room than Crystal, who was married to the director of the damn Lion King. Optics, Erica. Fucking optics. Then Garcelle gets to the room, and Garcelle looked beautiful. Oh, she looked so nice. And Garcelle was talking to Crystal, and Crystal was telling her about what happened the night before and how everything went the night before, and talked about how Tom admitted that, you know, he was cheating on that, you know, I mean, how Erica admitted that Tom had been cheating on her and how he had these affairs. And Garcelle was like, huh, that's interesting because she told me that there was no third party. And y'all know messy ass Bravo showed us, they rolled that beautiful beam footage of Erica saying that to her knowledge, there was no third party. So here's the thing. Erica, you could be very well lying and that's fine, but it don't look good if you're supposed to be open and honest with us. It doesn't look good. Now that's lie number one and that's optic number one. And we're going to get to lie number two in a minute, but let's finish through all of this. So the ladies coming through and they're having dinner. Crystal's making the drinks. And they're having dinner, and they had to have it, they ordered room service, but it came in bags, so they had to, kind of, fend for themselves. Oh my goodness, we have to actually unpack a bag and figure out what we ordered. Oh no. And again, we have to have the whole Erica. Well, this is what was in the news today, because that particular day, what was in the news was that Tom had been hospitalized for undisclosed ailment. Now, they didn't say that was connected to this car accident that we got all this information on the week before. So I don't know if it was the same thing. I don't know if it was the car accident or if it was something else. I don't know. Whatever. But then, but they just said, but Erica was just like, she just didn't know what it was. She wasn't sure. Whatever, right? Okay. So the other thing, while we were at dinner, they were like, well, use one word that would describe you. I love Sutton's word. She said eccentric. Sutton, you are eccentric. And that's why I've grown to love you. I have learned to love Miss Sutton. Sutton got on my nerves last season, but she's just very eccentric. But let me tell you what I did learn about Miss Sutton in this episode. Miss Sutton is about her money. And when Sutton went through her divorce with her husband, because what she was telling Erica was, because they were talking about this house and how the house was sold and Erica didn't know nothing about it, Sutton was like, listen, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to get you a forensic team to follow the money and find out where all the money is buried. Even if you got to go to St. Croix, Turks and Caicos, you better find the money. She said, because ain't nowhere in the world that he's supposed to be selling houses in your name and you don't know nothing about it. But what she also said was, she said, hell, in my divorce, I found out I was a minority owner in 2 baseball teams, and I didn't know nothing about it. And I was like, see, that's how Sutton got her money. Because how you a minority owner of Major League Baseball teams and you ain't know nothing about it? Child. And she was like, you have to, and so she was trying to tell Erica that's what you need to be doing. You need to make sure that you get the right people to look for the money. Now, the problem is, in Erica's case, ain't no damn money. See, that's why Erica was supposed to leave this man. If it was so bad, it was so horrible. Ma'am, you did not have a prenup. And again, I have to quote my girl, the great Kathy Bates from A Family That Prays Together. My dear, you are a woman scorned without a prenup. That sounds like a recipe for good living. I'm not understanding, Erica. You didn't have a prenup. See, if you had a prenup, I wouldn't even be tripping. But you had no prenup, ma'am. 2 years ago was when you were supposed to leave this man. When that first lawsuit rolled around and had your name attached to it and he act like he didn't want to tell you nothing about it. That's when you get the lawyers. But okay, we here now, child. We here. So I just was here for Sutton giving them divorce 101. And was like, yeah, you can find my ex-husband forensic team because they did a good job. Because we know Sutton living good. So, of course, it gets around to Erica. Erica was like, tough. I'm tough. I mean, not tough like, tough, but just, like, just tough. Girl. Eric. Bravo, if y'all don't stop playing in my damn face with this bullshit. So the next day, we found out Crystal is related to Confucius. That's great. Great for you, Crystal. So the next day, the ladies go shopping. Some of the ladies go shopping, and Garcelle, Crystal, and Erica go for a hike. Now, Erica, you were smart not to go shopping. And I found it interesting that Crystal don't seem to spend a whole lot of money either, child. But anyway. So, Anyway, so the ladies go shopping. So I'm gonna talk about the ladies that went shopping first, y'all. We'll get to the hike in a minute, because that was a whole nother Erica woe was me whole situation. Although I was here for that coat Erica had on that hike. That was cute. I don't know what design it was, but it was a nice little long trench with like baby blue. I couldn't tell what design it was, but I'm sure it was a designer on it because it's Erica, so I'm sure it's a designer. But it was cute, honey. So the ladies go shopping. The only cute thing about that was Kathy, Nicole Hilton had called Kathy while they were out shopping, and Kyle gets on the phone, they're on FaceTime, and Kyle was like, girl, look at your mama. Look how your mama is walking around out here. And Kathy Kathy looked fine. Kathy looked like she said, it's a girls trip. We're on vacation in the desert. How am I supposed to dress? I'm supposed to dress like I'm going to formal dinner? How am I supposed to be dressed? And I'm with you on that one, Kathy. Kathy was dressed for the occasion. The rest of y'all be dressing up and acting a damn fool on these trips. She is dressed for the occasion, okay? And she did not care. She didn't care about what her daughter had to say. She didn't care about what Kyle had to say. She didn't care. Now, let's get to this hike situation. So they're out hiking, and Garcelle, you know, she starts asking the hard questions of Erica. Y'all know how Garcelle is. And so she asked Erica, you know, she said, so is this where the divorce is coming from because you got wind of these lawsuits? I mean, is that what it is? And of course, Erica was like, no, that's not what it was. And of course, again, Erica is doing the whole how hard it's been, and she said, well, there's a hearing today, but I don't know what it's about, and I'll find out, you know, when I get back tomorrow, you know, what it was about, how it was. She said it was in Chicago, and she said, you know, then she admitted, here's lie number 2. Tom calls me all the time, but I just can't take his phone calls because I have to be able to honestly say when the last time I talked to him, and the last time I talked to him was the day I left. Now, y'all correct me in the comments, but I am certain. I'm about 90% certain. The only reason why I'm only 90% and not 100% is because I feel like Bravo would have played the clip if they had a clip of Erica absolutely saying, but I could have sworn that Erica said that Tom has not reached out to her. Now, I know she said she hasn't talked to Tom, but I'm almost certain when they've asked her, Tom hasn't tried to call you, I'm almost certain she was like, no. Because I feel like I said it in my reviews that I was like, I don't believe that Tom ain't called her. You just disappeared one day and he ain't called you for nothing. He ain't called nothing. He came home for work. You never came home, and he just assumed you left him. He never called to say, Erica, what's going on? The people at the house ain't called when you was loading up a moving van. He ain't called you to say, bitch, what you taking out the house? Like, I refuse to believe that Tom never called her. And I'm almost certain that they asked her, has Tom called you? And her answer was no. And I feel like that was a damn lie. And I'm going to tell you why. Another reason why I feel like it was a lie. Or at least Erica lied. We know Erica lied because later on that day, they go back to the house in the big group, and Garcelle brings it up in front of everybody. And Erica has a damn fit. I mean, when I say Erica has a fit, Erica has a fit and was like, I didn't want to say anything, but of course you had to say something, and I didn't want to say anything. I mean, she was nasty to the Garcelle. Well, go ahead and have your moment then. Go ahead and have your moment. Now, come to find out, Erica had told Crystal and Garcelle that she didn't want that brought up in front of the whole group. But Garcelle wasn't in the car when Erica said it, so she didn't know that Erica didn't want that brought up. Well, I feel like the only reason why Erica didn't want it brought up is because Erica knows she told the rest of them women that she hadn't talked to Tom. The other thing she brought up was how bad things were as far as Tom's mental health, and him, she, again, is giving us this whole storyline about the Alzheimer's, and she, after the car wreck, she saw something different, and that even lawyers from the law firm was calling her saying, we got to do something about him. We got to do something about him. I was just like, girl, I'm just over this. And Bravo, y'all complicit in all this bullshit. And Erica had a nerve to complain about her edit. Girl, I feel like you were getting a very generous edit. Very generous edit. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.